Joining us right now is Attorney Erin Tañada, the President of the Liberal Party. Good morning, Attorney Erin. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jego, at good morning, Angela.
All right, Attorney, it's November 30, malapit na. It's just around the corner. Compared sa last one that we had, I think, no September. What can we expect this November 30?
Well, we're expecting a bigger mobilization to be supported by different organizations and archdioceses around Metro Manila. At magsisimula ang programa sa People Power Monument ng alas 9 ng umaga at merong misa interfaith sa alas 10 and then patuloy ang programa all the way up to around 6 p.m.
So, okay, just to be clear lang po, to give context po sa ating audience, ano po ba ang sigaw, no, ito pong grupo po ninyo, Attorney Erin, dito sa November 30 Anti-Corruption Rally? Because we believe na marami pong mga grupo din na sumasang-ayon na ayaw nila sa corrupt, pero may mga iba-ibang sigaw sila na i-resign yung dalawang presidente at vice president natin, revolutionary government, etc.
Well, of course, hindi mo naman maiiwasan na may iba't ibang sigaw ang iba't ibang mga organizations, no? So, ang underlying, you would say, yung pareho na panigaw na sinisigaw ng bawat grupo, whether it's Luneta or whether it's People Power Monument, is managot ang lahat na sangkot sa korupsyon dito sa ating bansa. So, importanteng may ikulong, importante may kasuhan, at importanteng may kulong. Ngayon, outside of that, the next, I think, na maliwanag na nagkakaroon ng unity is yung usapin tungkol sa dapat wakasan na ang political dynasties dito sa ating bansa.
But you don't call for stepping down ng presidente at saka ng vice president. We're clear on that.
Iba yon. No, we are not making that call, but what we are saying is we have to follow the constitutional process. No? Dahil maliwanag naman kung ano yung succession dun na nakasaad. At ang mahirap dito kung mag-resign si Pangulo, sino yung susunod?
That's right.
Si Duterte, ayaw naman namin yon. No? So hindi pwede rin yung sinasabi ng kabila na Duterte resign, Marcos resign. Well, we respect their position about that. Pero ang tanong, ano yung isusunod ninyo dyan? Ang panawagan ng iba, transitional government. Right. Yung panawagan ng iba, revolutionary government. Kami, naniniwala kami sa nakasaad sa ating saligang batas. So, sundan po natin.
And those resign calls allowed sa trillion peso rally?
Well, sa amin, we have agreed on what we would unite in, no? So we will leave it to, and it has explained to the different organizations kung ano yung pinaglalaban, at ito yung pinagkasunduan. Kasama dyan yung kailangan i-certify urgent yung independent commission on infrastructure filed by Senator Tito Soto and Senator Kiko Pangilinan in the Senate, and in the House si Senator Manay Laila.
Yeah,
no? So
right.
These are things that can address issues on corruption, dahil nakikita nga natin mahina ang ICI in terms of wala silang karapatan na mag-contempt sa mga taong iimbita nila na hindi sumisipot. So,
that's right.
So passing this law will even strengthen this independent commission.
Attorney, on the way, right after yung September rally, we spoke to several groups that were part of this upcoming November 30 rally, and they said countdown po to November 30 in terms of yung satisfaction of the handling of this whole anomaly, no? Now that meron arrest warrants ongoing, but sabi ng iba, parang mga maliliit na isda daw ang may arrest warrant except for Saldico. I'd like to ask yung stance ng grupo nyo po in terms of satisfaction of handling of the whole, this whole mess.
Well, kung titignan nga natin, Diego, we believe in the rule of law. So we have to follow the process as embodied in our Constitution and our laws on how people are charged, no? Ang mahirap dito, I understand the anger, and we should not let go of the anger. I understand the impatience. Pero hindi naman pwedeng shortcut, di ba? Yung shortcut nangyayari, yung katulad ng EJK. Walang due process, pinapatay na lang. Gusto natin, yung mga kakasuhan natin, may sapat na ebidensya. Hindi pwedeng, after a few years, papakawalan dahil we were not able to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Lalong mawawalang kumpiyansa ang ating mga mamamayan sa judicial system natin na ayaw naman natin mangyari. So I understand the impatience, pero we acknowledge that the ombudsman is doing its role. Hopefully it will be faster, no? Pero yun nga, ayaw namin naman na maging shortcut yung buong proseso, na kasuhan yung lahat, tapos in the end of the day, hindi ginawa yung homework, no? Mapawalan dito yung mga sangkot dito sa corruption.
Okay.
Yun ang mas masakit.
Right. But I want to talk about the video statements of former Congressman Zaldico involving former House Speaker Martin Romualdez and the President himself. Do you believe also na dapat din ma-include si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa mga investigation na nangyayari ngayon regarding the anomalous flood control projects?
Well, ang mahirap dito sa sinabi ni Zaldico, it's not under oath eh. Diba? And if anybody can make a video statement alleging or throwing accusations with regard to corruption, pero kung hindi yan under oath, it will not stand in court. So, ang panawagan nga, dapat umuwi si Zaldico, go in front of the ICI, no? Give a sworn statement, and then we will see, no, kung the President will be able to attend the ICI and answer these questions. But remember, under the Constitution, the President is immune from suit at this point, no? So he can avoid appearing in any investigation because of this provision in the Constitution.
Okay. You were a congressman before, Attorney Erin, and probably alam mo yung mga ins and outs ng budget process. Ano. Ang isa sa mga sinasabi ni former Congressman Zaldico, nag-insert through BICAM, pina-insert sa kanya ni President Bongbong Marcos itong 100 billion. And ang argumento dito ng iba ay bakit niya daw pa yung gagawin kung pwede naman niya yung gawin sa NEP. Is that even possible, Attorney Erin?
Well, again, first of all, tama yung sinasabi ng iba na the NEP is the President's budget. Kung ano man yung gusto ng Presidente, nilagay na niya sa NEP. Ngayon, sabihin po natin na merong nakalimutan, no? Is it impossible for the President to request that certain things be included in the budget? I don't think it is impossible. Kasi remember, kapartido niya naman yung mga nasa House of Representatives at sa Senado, no? So it is not really impossible for that to happen. Then again, I said, no, whatever Zaldico is saying is not under oath. So it is true that the NEP includes all what the President wants. Pero it does not mean kung meron siyang nakalimutan, no, hindi niya pwedeng kausapin sino man o pwedeng ba ninyong isama pa ito. Yeah, there's nothing, we know that can happen. Possible. What is important, Angela, under the Constitution, the budget that was presented, kung 10 trillion yan, for example, hindi pwede lang lumabas sa General Appropriations Act na yung budget magiging 11 trillion.
That's right.
It is prohibited in the Constitution that there's an increase. Ang pwede lang ay decrease.
Okay. Right. Attorney, I'd like also to clarify, no? Well, let's assume na all in good faith ang ginawa ng Pangulo, but do you believe meron siyang accountability in terms of being the signatory of the budget? Plus, based sa conversations with Attorney Toby Tiangco, with Congressman Tiangco, sinabi niya, November of last year, of 2024, alam na daw niya na may nangyayaring anomaly sa House, and he spoke to the Speaker about this, but didn't do anything till the SONA.
Well, I think there is a growing consensus that the President is complicit in this. Because if he already also no, in his SONA he mentions mahiya naman kayo. No, so I recall before the before the budget of 2025 was signed, nagkakagulo nga sa Malacanang because they had a problem because I think there was one agency that was receiving a higher budget allocation compared to the education sector, which is unconstitutional. Yes. And so they vetoed certain things. So it doesn't mean that hindi nila pinag-aralan yung budget line for line because naghahanap sila kung anong i-veto nila.
Yes.
So dapat at that point na nakita nga nila may problema sa flood control, and remember in 2024 he made in his SONA, he said he had solved the flood control problem in Metro Manila. Yeah. And then a few weeks later, bumaha ng husto sa Metro Manila. So dapat nag-ingat nga siya. No? So by signing the 2025 budget and knowing na merong deficiencies, complicit siya.
Alright, mabilisan na lang po, Attorney. Meron pa ba tayong plano after November 30 na rally?
Of course, pag-uusapan and of course, titignan. No? Alam natin may announcement ang Ombudsman. Sabi niya by December 15, dadagdagan yung mga kakasuhan sa Sandigan Bayan. So, we will see. No, we will see. Kung hindi gagawin ng Ombudsman yung trabaho niya, then maybe it will call for another mobilization. Again, dahil hindi dapat mawala yung intensity, no, yung anger ng tao dahil ang pinagdarasal nitong mga sangkot dito sa corruption makalimutan ng taong bayan yung galit nila.
Right. Maraming salamat po muli sa inyong oras. That was Liberal Party President Attorney Erin Tanyada.